Dear friends, welcome to Chess Lessons. Today I am going to present popcorn lung. Bronchiolitis obliterans is a serious, often disabling lung disease that involves inflammation and narrowing of the small airways, that is bronchioles. Symptoms of this disease may include cough, shortness of breath or exhaustion, and or wheeze. This is often misdiagnosed as COPD or asthma. What is popcorn lung? In 2004, the US Center for Disease Control and Prevention reported several cases of bronchiolitis obliterans in workers of a microwave popcorn plant. After investigation by the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, it was discovered that a flavoring agent termed diacetyl, which is 2,3-butanedione, was used to give the popcorn a buttery taste. Inhalation of this flavoring chemical is the likely cause of this lung disease, and the name popcorn lung was given because of this. Later, popcorn lung and e-cigarettes were associated. A study published in 2015 showed that harmful chemicals associated with popcorn lung are present in many types of flavored e-cigarettes, particularly those with flavors like fruit and candy. Of the 51 flavored e-cigarettes tested, flavoring chemicals were found in 47 and diacetyl specifically in 39 samples. This suggests a potentially dangerous level of exposure via e-cigarettes to chemicals like diacetyl that can cause bronchiolitis obliterans. What's the relation between popcorn lung and coffee processing? Diacetyl and another compound 2,3-pentanedione, that is acetyl propionyl, are volatile organic compounds known as alpha diketones that are added as ingredients in food flavorings used in some food products such as microwave popcorn, bakery mixes, and flavored coffee. Diacetyl 2,3-pentanedione and other VOCs and gases such as carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide are naturally produced and released during coffee roasting process. According to a recent report from CDC, these potentially harmful chemicals are found at higher than expected level at some coffee processing facility. Grinding roasted coffee beans produces a greater surface area for off-gassing of this compound. CDC confirmed that occupational exposure to diacetyl and 2,3-pentanedione can cause obliterative bronchiolitis and loss of lung function among workers in coffee processing facility. What are the sources of this chemical? Flavoring chemicals added to roasted coffee beans in the flavoring area, grinding unflavored roasted coffee beans and packaging unflavored ground and whole bean roasted coffee in a distinct area of the facility, storing roasted coffee in hoppers in the grinding and packaging areas to off-gas. Other causes of popcorn lung include smoke from marijuana, metal oxide fumes, a common byproduct of welding, formaldehyde, a cancer-causing chemical used in some glues and building material, sulfur dioxide, a pollutant released by burning fossil fuel, ammonia, chlorine, nitrogen oxides, hydrochloric acid, sulfur mustard, a chemical weapon used as mustard gas. All these causes bronchiolitis obliterans, and they are not called popcorn lung because it is not directly related to popcorn processing. How is it diagnosed? Clinical and radiological features are similar to diffuse panbronchiolitis, which is an idiopathic condition seen in Asians. X-ray is non-specific and may show bilateral diffuse reticulations, small nodular shadows with pulmonary hyperinflation. CT just shows centrilobular opacities with branching lines, that is tree in bud pattern, bronchular wall thickening and basal predominant bronchiectasis. Mosaic attenuation with expiratory air trapping. Lung biopsy is the confirmatory investigation. Usually the spirometry in bronchiolitis obliterans shows features of small airway dysfunction. The FE1, FEC will be relatively maintained, whereas the FEF 2575 will be considerably reduced. This is suggestive of small airway dysfunction. X-ray shows features of air trapping, bronchial wall thickening and hyperinflation. There will be bilateral diffuse reticulation in small bullae. In advanced cases, destruction of lung tissue leads on to development of bullae or thin-walled cyst. These are the X-rays of two different patients showing hyperinflation with reticular opacities on either side. Second X-ray shows extensive shadowing. The X-ray of another patient which shows micronodules and reticulations. These are very clearly seen in this film. There is hyperinflation. HRCT thorax shows mosaic attenuation, reticular shadows, tree in bud lesions and cystic lesions. In advanced cases, multiple bullous lesions and thin-walled cysts are also seen. This is the HRCT cut of a patient. Cut A shows reticular shadows and tree in bud lesions. Cut B shows bronchial wall thickening, cystic lesions and bullae. This is a CT of another patient showing extensive reticular networking. Few cystic lesions and lung destruction are seen in the periphery. B shows thin-walled cyst in the posterior aspect of the lung with extensive reticular and linear opacities. Treatment of open lung is mainly by controlling the symptoms. Lung tissue scarring caused by open lung is irreversible. It is crucial to recognize symptoms and diagnose open lung early. Individuals should immediately leave the environment where exposure occurred and not to return. Prolonged use of macrolide antibiotics may work in some individuals. Corticosteroid is the mainstay anti-inflammatory in the treatment. Immunosuppressive drugs such as azathioprine is also tried. Montelukast is suggested as an anti-inflammatory drug. Supplemental oxygen to correct hypoxemia. Lung transplantation is the option in the end-stage lung disease. Many patients treated as COPD or asthma may be having popcorn lung. Young COPD and female COPD on treatment need a diagnostic review to rule out popcorn lung. History of working in coffee processing facilities may be a clinical pointer. There may be other sources of diacetyl which can contribute to this disease. Research on the air quality and presence of diacetyl in coffee processing units may help to establish a causative link. Thank you.